Life is a journey filled with obstacles, uncertainties, and moments that test our strength, patience, and resilience. No matter your background, you will face challenges that push you to your limits. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself, why do we struggle? Is adversity a sign that we are not meant to succeed, or is it an unavoidable yet essential part of our personal growth and transformation? What if, instead of seeing hardships as barriers, we embrace them as opportunities to develop courage, wisdom, and perseverance? Today, I will take you on an inspiring journey about a young boy who faced overwhelming difficulties but discovered that every struggle was a stepping stone toward greatness. Stay with me until the end because this story might just change the way you look at challenges forever. In a quiet village surrounded by majestic hills, a young boy named Ethan lived with his parents. Ethan was a dreamer. He wanted to explore the world, make a difference in people's lives, and experience true happiness. But despite his ambitions, life seemed determined to knock him down. Every time he took a step forward, an obstacle appeared, whether it was financial difficulties, self-doubt, or unexpected failures. It felt as though life itself was testing his resilience, constantly placing roadblocks in his path. No matter how hard he tried, he felt as if he was being pushed backward, away from his dreams. He often wondered if these struggles were meant to break him or shape him into something greater. His parents, hardworking and loving, always reminded him to stay strong, often sharing stories of their own struggles and perseverance. They told him tales of resilience, of how they had overcome countless obstacles to build the life they had. Yet, despite their encouragement, Ethan couldn't shake the feeling that success was a privilege reserved for the lucky few. Doubt crept into his mind, whispering that perhaps he was destined for mediocrity. He questioned whether his dreams were too big, whether he was merely chasing illusions, doomed to fall short no matter how hard he tried. Late at night, as he lay awake staring at the ceiling, these thoughts haunted him. He would recall his father's words. Hard work always pays off, but wonder if that was really true. His mother would remind him that persistence was key, yet he struggled to see the path ahead. His dreams felt so distant, as if they belonged to another world entirely. Was it truly possible for someone like him, from a small village, to achieve something great? Or was he simply setting himself up for disappointment? The silence of the night amplified his doubts, making them seem insurmountable. He imagined himself years down the line, wondering if he would look back with regret for not trying harder, or worse, for trying at all. These thoughts swirled in his mind, refusing to let him rest. Ethan's childhood was filled with moments of hope and despair. He would often sit by the river bank, watching the water flow endlessly. He envied the river. It never stopped, no matter how many rocks lay in its path. The rhythmic sound of the water soothed him, yet also reminded him of his own struggles. If only I could be like that, he thought to himself, longing for the same resilience. He imagined himself as a droplet in the river, moving forward despite the obstacles, never losing direction, never surrendering to despair. One day, feeling lost and defeated, Ethan wandered deep into the forest, his thoughts heavy with self-doubt. The towering trees whispered with the wind, their leaves rustling as if sharing secrets. He longed for clarity, for a sign that his struggles meant something. As he ventured further, he spotted an elderly man sitting under a grand oak tree, his eyes fixed on the sky, a serene wisdom radiating from his presence. The old man turned his gaze toward Ethan, noticing the weight of uncertainty in his expression, and gently said, "You seem burdened, young man. What troubles you?" Ethan hesitated, then poured out his heart. "I've dedicated countless hours, sacrificed comfort, and pushed myself beyond my limits. Yet, every step forward feels like 2 steps back. No matter how much effort I put in, obstacles keep blocking my path. There are nights I lie awake wondering if I'm even meant to succeed, questioning whether my dreams are nothing more than illusions." The old man smiled and said, "Let me tell you a story. Once, a tiny seed lay buried deep under the soil. It was surrounded by darkness, suffocated beneath layers of heavy earth. It had no idea what lay above, whether the world beyond was kind or cruel. The ground was dry, cracked with time, and the winds howled fiercely, shaking the very foundation of the earth. Every moment was a battle against uncertainty, but the seed refused to surrender to despair. Day after day, it pushed against the soil, struggling to break free. The harsh environment tested its strength, dryness threatened to dehydrate it, compacted earth resisted its movement, and unseen creatures lurked nearby. But the seed remained steadfast, drawing on every ounce of its hidden strength. It fought through the darkness, determined to reach the unknown world above. After many days of relentless effort, a tiny crack formed in the soil. A delicate sprout pushed through, trembling yet victorious, stretching toward the warmth of the sunlight for the first time. Ethan leaned in, fully absorbed in the story. As the seed grew into a small plant, it encountered new and relentless challenges. Strong winds howled through the fields, bending its fragile stem to the breaking point. Torrential rains poured down, saturating the soil and nearly drowning its tender roots. Scorching sunlight bore down, threatening to wither its delicate leaves. But instead of surrendering, the young plant adapted. It anchored its roots deeper into the ground, finding hidden reservoirs of strength. It learned to bend with the wind instead of breaking, to absorb the rain as nourishment rather than allowing it to wash it away. Every hardship became a lesson, and every storm a test of resilience, pushing the plant closer to its destiny of becoming an unshakable tree. Over time, the plant grew taller, its trunk becoming sturdy, its branches stretching outward like welcoming arms. It weathered the strongest winds, the heaviest rains, and the scorching heat of the sun. Each storm left its mark, not as damage, but as proof of survival. The plant did not merely endure, it adapted, growing stronger, wiser, and more resilient with each passing season. It became a magnificent tree, its roots firmly anchored deep into the earth, its canopy providing shelter and comfort to all who sought refuge beneath its shade. It was not the storms that harmed it, they shaped it, refining its strength and making it unbreakable. The old man looked at Ethan with a knowing smile and said, "The struggles you face are like those storms. At first, they seem overwhelming, threatening to uproot you. But without them, you cannot grow. Every challenge is an opportunity, an invitation, to learn, to strengthen your spirit, and to prepare yourself for greater things ahead. Just as the tree finds its strength through the fiercest winds, so too will you find yours in the trials you overcome." Ethan thought about his own struggles. He realized that every failure, every setback, and every hardship was actually a lesson preparing him for the future. He was not failing, he was growing, evolving into a stronger, wiser version of himself. Each obstacle was like a chisel, carefully sculpting him into the person he was meant to become. His struggles were not a burden, but a training ground for the greatness that awaited him. The doubts that once clouded his mind began to fade, replaced by a deep understanding that every challenge he faced was an essential piece of his journey. He now saw difficulties not as punishments, but as opportunities to refine his character and sharpen his skills, ensuring that when his moment of success arrived, he would be truly ready to embrace it. He decided that he would no longer see obstacles as barriers but as stepping stones toward greatness. With a renewed sense of purpose, he embraced challenges as opportunities for growth. No longer intimidated by failure, he welcomed each setback as a lesson, each hardship as a chance to refine his skills and expand his knowledge. Armed with the wisdom of the old man's words, he set out once more on his journey, determined to carve a path toward his dreams with resilience and unwavering belief in himself. But the road ahead was not easy. Each step presented new challenges that tested Ethan's patience, courage, and determination. There were days when exhaustion threatened to overwhelm him, nights when doubts crept into his mind like shadows whispering of failure. Yet, deep within, he clung to the belief that struggle was a necessary part of growth, that every hardship was molding him into the person he was meant to become. He braced himself for the storms ahead, ready to face them with unwavering resilience. Ethan faced relentless hardships. He struggled financially, often finding himself with only a few coins to his name, barely enough to afford a meal. He tirelessly applied for jobs, only to face rejection after rejection, each one a heavy blow to his confidence. There were countless nights when he went to bed with an empty stomach, his body aching from exhaustion, and his mind tormented with doubts about whether his relentless efforts would ever bear fruit. At times, despair nearly consumed him. Walking through the bustling city streets, he watched others succeed while he struggled just to survive. He questioned whether he was destined to fail, whether his dreams were mere illusions. Yet, deep within, a small but unwavering spark of determination kept him moving forward. Despite the setbacks, he refused to surrender. He sought out temporary work, washing dishes at roadside stalls, carrying heavy sacks at markets, even offering to fix broken furniture for spare change. Each job, no matter how menial, became a stepping stone, providing him not just with a few extra coins but also invaluable lessons in perseverance, discipline, and resilience. Ethan refused to let rejection define him. Instead of retreating in defeat, he adapted. He meticulously honed his skills, absorbing knowledge from books, attending workshops, and seeking mentorship from those who had triumphed over similar struggles. He observed the habits of successful individuals, analyzing their journeys and internalizing their strategies. Slowly, he learned that success was not about avoiding failure, but about embracing each fall as an opportunity to rise stronger and wiser. He understood that resilience was a muscle, one that grew only through continuous effort and an unwavering belief in progress. Yet, each time he encountered hardship, he reminded himself of the tiny seed. He dug his roots deeper, learning new skills, networking with people, and constantly improving himself. He found solace in books, devouring knowledge about business, personal development, psychology, and leadership. He attended seminars, engaged in online courses, and sought mentorship from those who had walked the path before him. He volunteered for unpaid work just to gain experience, sacrificing comfort for the hope of a brighter future. He understood that learning from hands-on experiences was just as important as theoretical knowledge. Every setback became a stepping stone, every rejection a lesson. He meticulously analyzed his failures, adjusting his approach with each attempt. Despite the struggles, Ethan remained unwavering. He developed a morning routine that included meditation, visualization, and goal-setting exercises. He surrounded himself with like-minded individuals, forming a network of support and accountability. With each passing day, his determination grew stronger, and he felt himself inching closer to his dreams. He took on different jobs, some days working as a farmhand, other days cleaning shops, and occasionally assisting street vendors. The work was exhausting, often stretching from dawn until well past sunset, and the pay was barely enough to survive. Yet, despite the hardships, he never stopped learning. He carefully observed how successful people navigated difficulties, adapted their strategies, and maintained a positive mindset. He took notes on their habits, their resilience, and their problem-solving skills, applying these lessons to his own journey. Slowly but surely, these insights began to reshape his approach to life and success. At one point, he saved enough money to start a small venture selling handcrafted goods at the market. Though his first attempts were met with indifference, he refused to give up. He studied marketing, experimented with different sales techniques, and gradually built a loyal customer base. His failures became stepping stones, each misstep teaching him something new about persistence and resilience. He took on different jobs, some days working as a farmhand, other days cleaning shops. The work was exhausting, and the pay was barely enough to survive, but he never stopped learning. He observed how successful people handled difficulties and adapted their strategies. As he faced rejection after rejection, Ethan learned to adapt rather than retreat. He analyzed his mistakes, refined his approach, and embraced calculated risks. He actively sought mentorship from those who had already succeeded, absorbing their wisdom and strategies. Determined to improve, he invested in courses, attended networking events, and meticulously built a strong foundation for his future endeavors. Ethan listened closely, his mind racing with memories of real-life heroes who had faced insurmountable challenges and triumphed against all odds. Example 1: Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, encountered failure more than 1,000 times before finally achieving success. When questioned about these setbacks, he famously remarked, "I have not failed. I've just found 1,000 ways that won't work." His relentless perseverance and refusal to be discouraged by failure ultimately revolutionized the world with the invention of the electric light bulb, proving that resilience and persistence paved the way for groundbreaking achievements. Example 2: J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter, faced rejection from 12 different publishers before one finally recognized the potential of her manuscript. At the time, she was struggling financially, living on government assistance as a single mother. Despite the obstacles, she remained committed to her vision. Today, her books have sold over 500 million copies worldwide, inspiring generations of readers and proving that persistence and belief in oneself can turn dreams into reality. Example 3: Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, widely regarded as one of the greatest basketball players of all time, faced a devastating setback when he was cut from his high school basketball team. Instead of allowing this failure to define him, he used it as motivation to train harder than ever before. Through relentless practice, determination, and an unshakable belief in himself, he eventually earned his place on the team and went on to dominate the sport, proving that setbacks are not the end but rather the stepping stones to greatness. As Ethan listened, a newfound clarity emerged within him. He realized that his hardships were not roadblocks meant to defeat him, but stepping stones guiding him toward his true potential and growth. So, Ethan asked, success isn't about avoiding difficulties, but facing them head-on? The old man nodded. Exactly. Every challenge carries a lesson, and by learning from them, we gain the strength to keep moving forward. From that day forward, Ethan no longer feared obstacles. Instead, he embraced them. Whenever he encountered a challenge, he asked himself, "What can this teach me?" Years turned into decades, and Ethan's perseverance not only shaped his own destiny but also transformed the lives of those around him. He became a guiding light for his village, mentoring young minds and instilling in them the values of resilience and determination. Through trials and tribulations, he earned the respect of his people, not by avoiding difficulties, but by confronting them head-on with unwavering resolve. His wisdom was sought after by those near and far, for he had weathered life's harshest storms and emerged with a heart full of compassion and a mind fortified with knowledge. His journey became a legend, inspiring generations to embrace their struggles with courage and to never surrender to despair. He never forgot the lesson he had learned under the oak tree. Success was not just about working hard, it was about embracing challenges with patience, determination, and an unyielding belief in oneself. Through every storm he faced, he carried with him the understanding that resilience was the bridge between dreams and reality. If you're going through a tough time right now, remember, every struggle is shaping you into a stronger version of yourself. Failure is not the end, it's a lesson. The greatest success stories are born from the greatest struggles. Never give up. Your growth and success depend on how you handle life's storms. I hope this story has inspired you to embrace challenges as opportunities for growth. If this journey resonated with you, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more inspiring stories. Remember, life's greatest lessons emerge from the toughest trials. Keep pushing forward, embrace the journey, and trust in your ability to overcome. If you enjoyed this story and found it valuable, please support our channel by liking the video, subscribing, and sharing it with others. By doing so, you'll not only stay updated with more inspiring content but also expand your English vocabulary in a meaningful and engaging way. Let's continue learning and growing together. See you in the next story. Thanks for watching.